Councillor Terrell, your motion?
Thank you. So I appreciate the intent of this report. Marie Hubbard was an absolute force of nature. I am privileged to say that she was one of my mentors in politics and helped guide me in my journey, and was without a doubt, arguably one of, if not the greatest mayor that we've had in Clarington. And so I think that we owe it to her legacy a lot more than to simply name a bench and to have a small area. So for this reason, I'm going to put forward a motion that we rename the Visual Arts Center the Marie Hubbard Visual Arts Center of Clarington. So I think that it is appropriate that the facility be named for her. We have named other facilities for past mayors, and I think given that her special connection with the Visual Arts Center and her love for this facility, that this is an appropriate thing to do.
I'm looking for a seconder. Okay, Councillor Anderson, thank you. Councillor Trail.
Thank you. I've made my comments. I think that this is the right thing to do, and I hope to have support for this. And I think it will tie in nicely with the commemorative bench, et cetera, that they're planning on doing there, and it also respects the legacy. Thank you.
Councillor Anderson.
On the premise of the motion, I don't have an issue with it. I don't know if it's problematic. If staff has any input on that, but on face value, it's fine with me. I think it's a good thing to do.
Further questions or comments? Mr. Bailey, thank you. And I've got some background because a lot of work has actually gone into this to get it thus far, the emphasis being on thus. Mr. Pinn and then Councillor Wu, I saw your hand up.
Thank you, through the chair. I might have Ms. Reck comment because there is a policy that was passed by council, I believe in the last year, 2 years ago, regarding naming of municipal buildings.
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair to, I guess, all of council, we used to have a policy that spoke to naming facilities after key members of the public. I believe in the Q1 of 2023, we brought forward some changes to that policy. We now operate under the advertising, naming rights, and sponsorship policy, which did remove naming of facilities after prominent members of the community. So the policy that we're working under right now doesn't provide that to happen. With that said, if it's council's wish, of course, they have the authority to approve something outside of that policy. But it is the policy right now that we reserve naming rights for potential revenue generation and sales.
Thank you. Councillor Wu.
Yes, and again, probably like everybody around the table, and Councillor Trail did mention, Marie Hubbard being a Bowmanville resident and doing a little history in her service to the community. Local councillor from 1980 to 1982, regional councillor from 1982 to 1988, mayor from 1988 to 1992, and that is in the town of Newcastle. So just want to correct that within the report. But I think, and if I could direct this, this feature, and again, after what the Deputy CEO did mention about the naming policy, on 2.6, this will be done by park staff, this landscaping feature and the commemorative plaque and the bench. Through the chair to the Deputy CEO.
Through the chair to Councillor Wu, yes, that is the plan.
Okay. And I see in the report, it will be in a prominent spot where people can view it. It'll be very, let's say, in my opinion, in keeping with what Marie would have wanted. Very simple, but again, it's from us recognizing her contribution to the community at the time, the town of Newcastle, now the municipality of Clarington. So I think we've done or will be doing a nice tribute to Marie with this landscaping feature as you enter the Visual Arts Center. Thank you.
Councillor Alhaji.
Thank you, Chair. I guess through you, Chair, to staff, Ms. Reck, you've mentioned that our policy with respect to the naming rights. Has there been any interest at this location for the purchase of naming rights?
Through the chair to Councillor Alhaji, no. I will say it hasn't been something that's been pursued. That mainly comes from conversations with the executive director of that site, who thought that maintaining the name of the Visual Arts Center of Clarington was very important to her and her team. So we did, when we were coming up with this proposal, worked with Dion from the Visual Arts Center and took their feedback into consideration.
Right back to you, and has the Visual Arts Center been made aware of this potential naming change? That question may go to Councillor Trail too. I'm not sure.
Through the chair, no, because we only got this recommendation late, so no, absolutely not. But having sat on the Visual Arts Center and having grown up around the corner, I think we have a great relationship with them, and we can certainly notify them of the proposal, and I don't see why they would have any issue with it. Thank you.
Thank you. And through the chair to you again, Ms. Reck, my apologies. What would be the approximate cost to name this facility after former Mayor Hubbard?
I would have to work with staff to get a costing on that, because it depends on what sign. It all comes down to the design and cost of producing and installing the signage.
Thank you. And this might go to you, JP. If you can if you can put the motion. I just wanted to confirm.
I'm sorry? Can you say something? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to mention that I've got it up as Councillor LJ requested, but I did need similar to your question, I did need some clarification on funding. So that is included there. The 10,000 was there from what was recommended in the report. I do not know what the correct number is. So I just wanted to clarify that I will need some clarification on that. And I've also left in where the funds are coming from, the Tax Rate Stabilization Fund, again, because that's the recommended motion, but I would need some clarification on those two pieces. So I just wanted to clarify that before I put it up.
Okay, thank you. And I guess to the motioner, so the name, just to confirm, naming rights in addition to the chair, or naming rights without the chair?
I will leave that in the capable hands of committee to determine, but I think the paramount consideration would be the name, and if they want to proceed with the bench, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Councillor Rang.
With respect to the VAC, I do currently sit on the board as an ex officio, and my understanding is that there may be some issues with renaming at this point. I'm just concerned that we're springing a whole new name on the organization without communicating with them. I'm wondering if it's possible to just put a pin in this until we've had a conversation with them, just to make sure that folks there are all right with it. I would rather do this with them than to them, if that makes any sense.
Okay, Councillor Trail, if you want to wrap up.
Sure. Okay. So I have no problem with referring this to staff to get back to us. With that said, in my comments, I'm going to just take a minute here to list just a handful of the many accomplishments of Marie. So, and I'm going to start out by saying I think we owe it to her to do a lot more than simply $10,000 and a bench. I would like to remind members of committee that Marie Hubbard was chair of Durham Region's first official plan. Marie Hubbard brought international investment from China to Clarington, including the vase that stood in these chambers for many years. She structured the first deal with Ontario Power Generation and Darlington Nuclear. She also built the first addition on this exact building, on Town Hall, and she brought most of the lands that we see today that are being occupied as residential, commercial, and industrial lands into Clarington's urban boundary. So basically, Clarington currently enjoys the taxes and the development on the lands that she brought into the urban boundary. So I think that we really need to do a heck of a lot more than a bench. Thank you. So I'd like to amend the motion that we refer this to staff to come back to come back to us with a report. I don't want it to include any other facilities. I think that this was well chosen. I think that her connection to the VAC is well known. I think that it's a central location. And I do think that this is the right thing to do. Given that Visual Arts Center will remain in the name, I don't think that this should cause too much consternation, just as we have the Sarah Jane Williams Center. In fact, we're keeping Visual Arts Center as part of the name. So again, I do applaud staff for coming forward with a very timely and appropriate recommendation to commemorate her memory, but I think we can do a heck of a lot better given that we owe so much to Mayor Hubbard. Thank you.
So a referral, an amendment to refer is on the floor. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Rang, thank you. So some color commentary on this. This has been something that we've been working on for some time. I don't think any of us need to be reminded of how important Marie Hubbard was to the municipality, the impact that she had on the municipality, as well as the impact that she had across the entire province. During her funeral, the Premier showed up both for the visitation as well as for her funeral, which tells you something. I will suggest that while Andy Allison was our CAO, Andy was in regular touch with Marie, looking for advice, looking for help, and I can tell you that Andy so deeply appreciated the advice and help that he was getting from Marie, as well the occasions that I had to speak with her. I think her line, and I think we all heard it, was, "I'm just a little old lady who knows nothing." And then she would provide you some advice that if you ignored, you were exceptionally foolish to ignore. I can tell you that Councillor Schwartz and I both shared some concerns on Friday when this proposal was reviewed, that this seemed to be not as much as we wanted, and here comes the but. The Visual Arts Center, I'm going to suggest Leanne, perhaps a year and a half ago, it was shortly after she passed, the idea of naming the building after former Mayor Hubbard was brought forward. They do have, Councillor Rang, you're correct. The Visual Arts Center did have some concerns with that. This motion in the report is to move forward with something now, and that came out of my frustration that a significant amount of time has passed and we have done nothing. Leanne, my understanding is that, and as we chatted on Friday, there is more work being done around the Visual Arts Center and an ability to perhaps recognize the former mayor in a more fulsome fashion. Is that correct?
To Mayor Foster, I believe that the Visual Arts Center was looking at doing some type of commemoration. I would have to follow up with the executive director to understand better what their plans are. This was a nod from the municipality because the executive director was looking for some assistance with the landscaping because they didn't have the internal expertise to do that.
So Leanne, my apologies, you weren't at that meeting, so you weren't part of the discussion that we had. So I've got no problem with this going back. I've got no problem working with the Visual Arts Center because they certainly had some concerns. Her son called from Denmark, and her son was prepared to pay for a bench I suggested at the time that we could do better than a bench. So I would make two suggestions. One, referring it back to staff, good to work with the Visual Arts Center. I am concerned with the naming rights. So it's not unusual for me to get requests that former politicians have buildings or parks named after them. We don't have enough parks and buildings to name after all of the politicians. And then we end up choosing favorites or not, which would be unfortunate. But when it comes back, I would urge council, this is something that we can do now, we can do quickly. We can at least get something in the ground as a start to commemorate the amazing service of former Mayor Hubbard. So no problem sending it back. Leanne, you know what we're looking for here, yes? Okay, perfect. So with that,
Record a vote, please.
yes, Madam JP, record a vote, please.
And the referral.
Yes, and this is on the referral back to staff. So the Visual Arts Center has problems. That's the problem with bringing this stuff up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the motion to refer this matter back to staff, starting with Councillor Trail.
Yes.
Councillor Wu.
No.
Councillor Zwart.
No.
Councillor Anderson.
Yes.
Councillor El-Hadji.
No.
Councillor Rang. Sorry, say that again, Councillor Rang.
Yes.
Yes. And Mayor Foster.
Yes.
Motion is carried 4-3.